Hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today, Alex and I are doing a very special episode regarding all of the nominees for the Ringo Awards this year.
Yeah, there were a lot of really good ones. Some we knew, some we didn't know.
Yeah, it was really nice to kind of look into some of the other ones. You've actually read a couple of the ones we hadn't previously touched, and I did not.
You tried.
I tried. I looked into it enough that I know which ones I'd want to read, so that was nice at least.
That counts.
Yeah, but today we're going to dive into the categories that deal with the webcomics, and we'll tell you what the webcomics are about, which ones we loved, which ones we haven't read, and we'll let you know which ones we would vote for. So, without further ado, we'll first talk about our first category, which is Best Webcomic. Very generalized. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how they narrowed it down because we had our own difficulties with narrowing down our best webcomic.
And we limited it to just completed ones and even still struggled.
Yeah, we still had a hard time. And it only gets harder.
Yeah.
The more content, the harder it gets.
Yeah.
So the nominees for this one, we're just going to start out with the first.
Okay, so the first one on here is The Croaking. This was one that neither one of us had read, and it is not a new one.
Okay.
It's on Webtoon. It's on hiatus currently, and there are 286 episodes. Now, I read 20.
Are they pretty hefty episodes?
No, they're not short, but they're also not, extremely long.
Okay.
So it doesn't take forever to get through them. They go pretty quickly once you get started. Mm-hmm. But it is a little overwhelming, the number.
Yeah, whenever I see that kind of a number, I'm like, oh, that must be a really nice story for someone else.
It's good so far, though. So the categories for this one are BL, friendship, and growth. Mm-hmm. So this one is about 3 people, and these people are avian people, so they all have wings and they're all different types of birds.
Okay.
So there's an osprey and crows and hawks and any type of bird. Mm-hmm. So our 3 main characters are Skra, Kai, and Ree. And Skra is a crow, and crows are kind of not looked down upon, but there was some fighting, and they blame the crows for everything because there was just almost a civil war type thing going on. Yeah. And so they say that everyone is stuck on this giant island because of the crows. So, of course, everyone is looking down on them. And crows form murders, so that's also not in their favor.
Very specific little terminology to throw in.
So we start off with Skra and Kai, and they are meeting at this mountain looking over the city. So imagine big city, Hollywood sign. They're sitting above the city and just looking down at everything. Okay. And so they don't know each other. They just run into each other up there, and they spend 3 weeks talking to each other. Mm-hmm. And Skra can't fly. He has a clipped wing, so he is taking his motorbike around.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why that just made me so sad.
If he pulls his feathers out, he'll be able to fly again. Mm-hmm. But he's only allowed to do that if he joins a murder, and he doesn't want to join a murder. Mm-hmm. Murders are essentially gangs. Mm-hmm. And
it's when you're a jet, you're a jet all the way kind of a situation.
Yeah, pretty much. And so he is being recruited by multiple different murders. But as long as he hasn't pulled his feathers out to grow new feathers to be able to fly, then he's not fully committed to one. Okay. Even though he's verbally committed to one.
Okay.
But they, after their 3 weeks of hanging out and getting to know each other, Skra leaves one day and says that he'll be back, but then he never shows up again. And Kai is what happened to him? And then you find out that they're all going to this military academy, which is called the Roost. Mm-hmm. And Skra is the first and only crow that has been admitted. And no one is nice to him, of course. Mm-hmm. And then also Kai is kind of an outcast as well because he's from the coast. He's a coastal bird. And so they think that would be better for like search and rescue in the sea instead of being a part of the tactile military that is like in the central city. Mm-hmm. And they're roomed together.
Aw.
So Kai is like, hey, what happened? And Scraw's just kind of like ignoring him and almost pretending that they didn't spend 3 weeks hanging out together.
Yeah.
And he's always skipping classes and he's never home at night. And Kai is like, I need to know what's going on, but can never figure it out. He makes another friend. Her name is Ree. And one day, Kai and Ree they're like going through Scraw's stuff. Well, Ree is. Kai didn't really want to. And they find like a knife under his bed. So there's like a mystery to it of where's Scraw going every night? Why is he in this military academy in the first place? Because crows are not typically let in. And so there's like a lot of conspiracy theories going on. There's one cadet who is the son of like the top dean of the school, and he is a bully, of course, and he is like, it seems to be very like chess piece playing people. And so I'm sure with 286 episodes there's gonna be a lot of twists and turns in this one and a lot to learn, but so far I like it and I'm going to keep reading it.
Yeah, it was on your list before we started this.
It was. So this was just a nice little push to start reading it.
Yeah. I'm glad that you got started with it. Are you, like, pretty excited about where it's going?
Yeah, I am. I think this will be one just because of the length that I probably, like, read in, like, burst. So I'll, like, read some, then read something else, and then go back and read more.
Yeah.
Because there's just a lot.
Well, when it's on hiatus, that's a perfect time to do it, too.
Yeah. If it starts to come back, I may have to speed things up a little bit.
No kidding. I will say, I really like the premise of the avian people. It's not something I see a lot.
Yeah.
So that is fun and kind of catches your attention. The other one that I've read like that is Winged.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a Canvas series on Webtoon.
Yes.
Also beautiful and also about bird people, but definitely a very different direction. So.
We also have Wind Beneath My Wings. Is that what it's
called? Isn't that more angel, though?
Yeah, you're right. That is Angel. And then there's 23-4, which is also Angel, but they have the giant wings.
It's a lot more like imagery like birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start it. I'll add it to the list.
I know it won't be at the top of yours because it is a little bit action-y, so I don't know if it would be really your cup of tea.
Yeah, I kind of suck, you guys. I don't know if you've known this. But for some reason, I've really tried to branch out from romance, and the only thing I've found so far that works is like a thriller or a horror series can sometimes...
I feel like the action ones are so long.
Yeah, it's a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
And I've got enough commitment in my real life. You know what? I'm kind of okay just being loosey-goosey with my webcomics. And you know what? A goose is a type of bird. So
we've come full circle. So the second one on our list is Daughter of a Thousand Faces.
Okay.
Now this is an action series as well, so it's good that it was assigned to me and not you.
Probably for the best.
It's on Tapas. It's a Friday release, and it is 80 episodes right now.
Okay. I did see the art for this one. It looks absolutely beautiful.
It's gorgeous. You would love the demon. He's gorgeous.
I'm sorry. You had me a demon. I didn't have to know what he looked like.
But here's the thing. I don't think this is going to be a romance. So I might have lost you.
Yeah. I'm gone.
It's good that it's not going to be a romance, though, because the girl who is the main lead at the beginning of the story is only 16, so you don't want it to be a romance.
Oh, no. See, and then unless it was like a high school romance story.
No, he's like an eternal demon, and she's like 16.
That's like some Twilight type of stuff.
I was thinking about that. Like, There are so many stories about, age-old vampires and gods and everything just having relationships with all these mortals that die in like a blink of an eye for them.
Yeah, I will say, though, I don't think this one is listed as a romance.
No, it's not. So then, getting into the story, we have our main character, Shin Yuhua. She is the daughter of an immortal being.
Okay.
He has lived like over 500 years something, has like 60 something wives and like billions of children. Not billions, but he has a lot of children.
We're talking like Zeus levels right now? Okay.
Yeah. And when his children reach a certain age, they have to go and like go before him to see what their powers are. Like if they're going to be strong, if they're going to be really pretty so they can be married off, and like, just go and see what is your worth.
Yeah.
So when it comes time for her to do that, she goes and her dad's like, you have no good qualities. You're not strong. You're not pretty. Like,
damn, Dad.
This is a waste of time. Like, go.
Daddy issues.
So she's looked down upon by not only her very large family, but also the village, because they all like worship this deity.
Who's now said, you ain't worth shit.
Yeah. So her life is not great. Her mother was accused and then convicted of being like evil. So they basically put her in a well and they like send her into the abyss. Okay. Like, if she's good, she'll come back out. And if not, then we know she was evil.
She hasn't come back out.
She hasn't come back out. She's a little evil. So.
Mommy issues.
She's got issues. And slowly over time, it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
She had, a bunch of servants and clothing and jewelry and everything that, typically the royal children have. And slowly over time, like, the servants start stealing her jewelry. Her servants get taken away from her. She has one left. His name is Swallowtail. And he attends to her, like, gets her ready for the day and all of that stuff. Right now, she's on her 21st marriage prospect. So she has been, like, interviewing or, whatever. They're trying to figure out a good match for her.
Yeah.
And let me remind you, she's 16.
Yeah.
Typical for old historical stories, I think. But just as a reminder, like, she's 16 and she's already been through 21 suitor options.
Yeah.
And this last one doesn't show up. He got drunk in a brothel and just never showed up. But her, like, when she was on her way, her dress got wet and she was not wearing, any jewelry or anything. And so her older sister, who is the only one who is full-blooded to her, is like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm not going to look for suitors for you anymore. Like, it's just pointless. You're not even trying.
Yeah, she's 16.
So she is upset by this. And so she goes off. She's, like, trying to walk around on her own. She has another sister. Her name is Yuling. And Yuling is just, like, an absolute bitch. And she takes her little hair clip that Swallowtail made for her and, like, holds it out away from her and is like, no, you can't have this, all that stupid.
Take away.
Yeah, like all that stupid stuff. And then she also ends up getting to the point where she's like, I heard that you're not going to have any more suitors and you've basically just shown how worthless you are. So, like, you might as well just jump into the abyss yourself. And so she does jump into the abyss and she goes all the way down. It's a very long, she said she fell for an hour and makes it down to the bottom. When she gets there, she's like knocked out and she comes to and she's tied up and there are all these demons around her who are like, this is great. We have someone of the royal bloodline here. So we're going to use you to free our new master who we're trying to, you know, get out of this place. And so they do. Everyone, you know, they do the ritual. They all do a blood oath and pledge their loyalty to this person who Yuha does not know. So he comes out. He's a little bit of a dick. He's like, you know what? You guys are not worth this. Like, you're not good demons. You kind of smell bad.
That's a low blow, demon.
Yeah. And his name is Chutian, and he is the famed demon of 1,000 faces.
Okay.
The reason he is known for being the famed demon of 1,000 faces is because he's known for, like, taking the face of all of his victims of, like, you know, just being a demon. And so he can wear all of their faces.
Okay.
Which I don't think you read or watched Game of Thrones.
No, not really.
In Game of Thrones, there's another character who's similar to this that is called the Many-Face God.
Okay.
And he has, like, walls of different faces. So it's, like, the same thing, which I thought was
definitely fun. Has the creep factor.
Yes, it does. So she released him, essentially. And he's like, you know what? One of you guys can survive. So y'all better fight till the end. And whoever's the last one standing, that can be my disciple. And so she's watching all of this chaos around her. Like, all these demons fighting to the death. And then at the very end, she's like, if he gets out of here, he's going to, like, destroy my family, destroy the village and everything. And I need to stop this. So she kills the last demon and becomes the disciple. So then she's, like, knocked out again. She wakes up. It's been 2 days. And she's back at home, and they all think that she went down into the well and then came right back up. So, like, she was not evil. She was good.
Yeah.
And they're asking her, like, what happened? And she doesn't want to tell them that she released a demon. So she's like, I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah. But everyone starts treating her different. Her siblings are talking to her a little bit more. Like, her brother, who's a doctor, comes to check on her. And she has a heart-to-heart with her older sister who said, like, basically, I'm giving up on you. And and she's like, you know, I didn't want to put you through that anymore. And she, like, hugs her and all this stuff. And then, so she goes to bed. It's been a whole day. And she wakes up, and Chutian is there. Basically, he brought her into a pot, like, genie style. And he's in his, like, palace and talking to her. And he says, okay, you're my disciple, so you have to come with me and do what I want. And so she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, okay, well, if you don't, then you're going to die because you're connected to me through the blood oath now. And she realizes that he's also connected to her through the blood oath. So if she dies, he dies.
So they're at a stalemate.
Yeah. So they're holding finger guns out to each other. No,
dueling.
Not. They're dueling. That's what they're doing.
Nah, I like the finger guns better.
They're dueling with their finger guns.
Pew pew.
And eventually, he convinces her, okay, I need 3 days so that I can go to the coast. Like, it's been 500 years since your father locked me in this abyss. Like,
I want to see the ocean.
He's like, I want to see the ocean. I want to say goodbye to my friends. And, like, I want to go to the mountains.
His friends?
Don't know who they are yet. But he's like, I want to go to the mountains. And so she agrees. She's like, all right, 3 days. And during this 3 days, she starts seeing how well she's being treated. Her father gives her attention for the first time in, like, 10 years. He puts her back into school with all of her siblings. And so her life has, like, done a complete 180.
Yeah.
So where I'm at right now is she is talking to him again, and he's like, are you sure you don't want to, keep going as my disciple? Because your life is so much better now. And all you have to do is be my disciple, and you can keep this. And I think she's probably going to say yes, because if she didn't, then there would be no story. But
you know what? That's very insightful.
Thank you. I try. I loved this one. I'm not very far into this one yet. This one is long episodes.
Okay.
It's long episodes and it's action, so I don't think you're going to read it.
No, but I mean, if you show me panels, I'm going to look.
Let me show you the demon.
Yeah, I'm interested in the demon for sure. I will say, in general, the series sounds interesting. I feel like this is one that I want you to give me the spark notes of.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to follow along with it because it's an interesting premise.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, yeah. I just love it. Here's the demon.
Okay, let's see. Drum roll. Oh, he's beautiful.
I know.
I really like his robe too. It looks like a
fish
pretty
scales?
like koi fish. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Ooh. Okay.
I'll keep you updated.
Yeah.
And if it becomes something I think you would be interested in, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll just give you the spark notes and show you the pretty panels.
I'd go to the coast with that demon.
I think we all would. I'd be.
Is that one of his stolen faces though, or is that just his actual face?
No, that's his actual face.
Ooh, why would he ever put another face on? He's so pretty. Well, I'm glad you read this one. I'm glad you like it.
Yes.
Good for you being a brave soul reading an action series that has actual content in it. So applause for Alex.
So the next one on our list is also an action series, but this is one that you have read.
Okay, this is loosely an action series.
It's listed as action, crime, crime-solving, slow burn romance.
Okay, I mean, those tags fit, but I'm pressing X to doubt that the first one at the top of the list is action. We're all there for the slow burn.
I mean, yeah, but...
And Gabrielle in a Speedo.
It's true, but I'm just saying it's listed as an action series first.
Yeah, we have read this series, so.
Did I even say what its name is? Probably not.
You didn't.
This is The Mafia Nanny. It's a very popular one on Webtoon.
And we've talked about this.
We've talked about it before. It's on Webtoon, Monday release, currently has 94 episodes. And, I mean, you're right. Like, it is about the romance. But there's also, you know, an element of mystery to it because we have Davina, and she was at a party and her parents died.
Yeah.
And she was taken away to this, like, elite nanny agency.
Mm-hmm.
While she's there, she decides that she wants to figure out who murdered her parents.
Mm-hmm.
She ends up becoming the nanny for Gabriele and his son, Mikey. And he's not Mikey. Gabriele is the son of, like, like, the Mafia Don.
An infamous,
yeah.
Mafia Don.
The Mafia Don. And she immediately is kidnapped.
Yeah.
With Mikey. And it's all a test to prove if she's worthy of, you know, being Mikey's nanny.
Mm-hmm.
And she proves herself that she is. And we do come to find out that Gabriele's family is the one who murdered her parents. So it does have, like, you know, that element of mystery of, like, what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's got some action. We also have, I do remember Gabriele's father had the martini that was, like, 90% olives.
What a hero.
And don't we all just want our martinis to be 90% olives?
Yeah. I will say this series has such a nice mix. It does have the mystery. It has the action. It has the slow burn romance. It's very obvious that, you know, there's something happening between Davina and Gabriele. And you have the comedy that Mikey brings to it as well. As just a little kid surrounded by the mafia.
So funny.
He's all about it.
Yeah.
And I just love that he goes to, like, interrogations and orders chocolate milk for himself at the bar.
It's just so cute.
It's just great. I will say I have fallen off of this one a little bit.
I have as well. I think there was a season end. We both stopped at the season end. And by the time it came back, had been distracted by other series.
The story of our lives. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't because I wasn't enjoying it. Mm-hmm. It was just because I got distracted.
I will go back to it. It is also one that has physical copies.
Yeah, so it recently released the first volume.
We could purchase the actual books.
Don't you put that evil on me.
I think we probably will.
Probably. The next one nominated for Best Webcomic is Nove, which we have also spoken about multiple different times.
Really? When?
When haven't we? It is definitely like a top tier story for, I think, both of us.
Yeah.
So fortunately, we didn't have to pit it up against all of our other favorites because it's not completed.
Yeah.
It's ongoing with 284 episodes, and you can read this on multiple different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So it's available on Webtoon as well as Tapas, but they also have their own website. So the one that was listed for the awards specifically was novecomic.com.
They do also have a Patreon, which has
Yeah.
additional content and side stories. And I mean, they're absolutely worth it. So you should join them as well.
Yeah, it's a comic made by two best friends. And I've heard that best friends make the best content. I heard that was a proven fact somewhere. I'm not an expert, but I don't know. It is a drama. It's a BL romance. There's fantasy elements involved. And for anybody who hasn't read this story or listened to previous episodes, the story does revolve around Raziel, who is an apprentice to an astronomer. And, you know, he's studying all the different planets. And he basically falls in love, I would say, at first sight.
I would agree. Yeah, I think Sylvain maybe falls in love faster, though.
Yeah, but it's pretty mutual.
Raziel's like just a little bit oblivious at the beginning, but only because he's 100% distracted by his research.
Absolutely scatterbrained.
And
yeah.
Sylvain is like, I like this guy.
Yeah. And Sylvain is a man who kind of lives between worlds. So he's like half undead, really. Like he lives in the mortal world. He kind of tiptoes between that line of life and death. And the two fall head over heels in love. They also have all of this mystery happening. Somebody at the university was murdered, and they're trying to figure out who it was. And I mean, the murders are pretty gruesome. They have like claw marks. It's obvious that a monster did this. Mm-hmm. And they're like, could it be a bear? Like, you're trying to figure it out. And there's just this magical element throughout. It is beautiful. The whole story is beautiful. Their love story, it's so jam-packed with lore that I don't want to unpack all of it. And again, 284 episodes. It sounds really intimidating, but it's actually really quick to get through. Mm-hmm. So I think I started it around 200 episodes, and I did it in like a day.
Yeah.
And I know what people might be thinking, which is, Annie, you're crazy. And that is true, but it is entirely feasible. I'm saying dedicate a couple hours to your life, you'll be caught up on the series.
And I mean, it is just some of the most gorgeous art ever. I mean, I like the panels. You cannot get better than some of the panels with the flowers and the stars, and like they have the skeletal for Sylvain. It's just stunning.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you have not read this one, you have to go read it. You don't have a choice. You can even pause this podcast episode right now to do it. And then you can come back. It's on the honor system. I trust you. The next story that was nominated is Renaissance of Raven. This one's on DC Go or DC Comics, which is a platform I wasn't honestly super familiar with.
Me either.
I don't read many superhero stories. My husband does have a huge collection of like print DC comics for Batman. Because that's just kind of his favorite. And we don't have to go into the reasons why he's wrong. But DC Go is a platform that actually has a lot of free webcomics. So there's a huge library that you can read like just by signing up with the free account, and you can access it through your email. You can also sign up, and they have like a 3-tier list. So they have the free account. They have a second tier, which is you can make sure to sign up for $8, or you can sign up for $13. And then you have like full early releases of webcomics, of print comics that you can access online and download. I mean, it's really a great model if you are interested in webcomic stories. And they're not all cookie cutter, like canonically correct. Like there are people who are taking these characters and putting them in different scenarios, doing like little side quests and stories for them. Renaissance of Raven specifically is 26 episodes, and it's an ongoing series. It's an action drama, and it follows Raven, who, if you don't know, was a part of the Teen Titans. And the story basically revolves around the anniversary of her mother's death and Raven leaving Titan Tower to go and visit the graveyard where her mother was, and just strange encounters coming from that experience. It sounds really interesting and the art looks really great. It's just not personally my cup of tea, so I didn't really dive into this one. But I really do think if you like superhero webcomics or DC comics in general, DC Go sounds like a really great option. And just based on the nominations for this category and the next category we'll be talking about, I think that maybe it's something that I could look into.
Yeah. I think, and I don't know if it's just become like more on my radar than it was, or if it is just becoming more popular, but I have been seeing a lot more in webcomics and in books themselves and TV shows too, of like the what if kind of thing of just like, this is not the main storyline, but what if this happened with this character?
Like side story or alternate universe.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's a nice change of pace. I think that Renaissance of Raven seems to be a lot more like, oh, this is happening in the background and you might not have realized it. Like almost like one of those side stories. But I remember watching Teen Titans as a cartoon growing up with my siblings. And I always thought that Raven was like my sister. So it is just always really nice to see Raven in general. I'm like, aw, look at that cranky lady. I love her. But again, I'm not super familiar, like, other than that cartoon, which was probably not super accurate to the comics.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be, but I have no knowledge whatsoever of it. I'm not really going to be the expert to talk on that. So the next story that was nominated for Best Webcomic was Under the Oak Tree. This is a series that I've mentioned. I don't think I've talked about this one in depth, but I think I've mentioned it at multiple different points in time.
Yeah.
It is on Manta Comics, and it's one that's included in their subscription model. So if you have any sort of subscription to them, you can read this one for, I guess it's included. It's not for free.
Yeah.
Whereas they used to have the models, you can unlock episodes as you go without a subscription. You can't do that anymore. But Under the Oak Tree is on Manta. It's completed now with 147 episodes. That's a recent development. I do like to flag that the genres listed for this one were romantasy, hot guy. And I didn't realize I was missing genre hot guy this entire time.
I mean, we've really been looking in the wrong place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've been reading genre, you know, he has a great personality or what, but I'm not mad that this exists.
Okay, the things that you're reading are definitely not genre. He has a great personality.
There are ones with great
Look at my face and tell me.
You're right. I love a good villain. This story, I will say, has some of the most beautiful art. The main character also has red hair that I'm extremely jealous of. It's long and beautiful and curly and billowing. But the story follows Maximilian. She is the daughter of a noble family. They treat her like crap. And her escape is basically that her father's trying to sell her off to this man in exchange for the man taking his place and going to war.
Taking the father's place.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the father's like, here, take my daughter, and then you can go to war for me, and that's like your prize is my daughter's hand in marriage.
Oh, okay.
And so this man, Riften Calypse, agrees, and he marries Maxie before he leaves, and leaves like on their wedding night to go to war. And so Maxie hasn't seen him in years. Mm-hmm. And when he comes back, there are rumors that while he was on the battlefield, he fought alongside the princess, and that the princess and him are kindred spirits, and that she's gonna steal Riften's heart, and that he's gonna break up with Maxie. And all these rumors are going around, and she's like, I don't know what's true. I don't even know this man, like, at all.
I do love a princess on the battlefield, though.
Yeah. I mean, me too. She's great. So Maxie is feeling very... She's feeling that this relationship is tumultuous already.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't know the guy. She's hearing from other people who supposedly know him better, know all of these rumors, that he's going to break up with her. So when he shows up at her door, she's like, I don't know what you're doing. And he comes back pissed. Not because he wants to divorce her, but because they got married and she didn't move to his house. She wasn't like taking care of his estate or anything like that.
Was she
just
still
stayed
living at
with her
home?
father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he's like, if you're my wife, what are you still doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you not want to be my wife? And she's like, do you want me to be your wife? That's not what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, get your ass in that carriage. You're coming with me. And so she's just confused. She's like, you barely know me. Why do you want me to go with you? And he goes, you're my wife. And so she struggles a lot with self-identity of all the terrible things her family has done and said to her, and just feeling not worthy. She's like, oh, he's just doing this because it's his duty to be there for me as my husband.
Yeah.
And the story is a lot about their struggles of what it means to have started a relationship separate and come back together. And it's a journey of self-discovery for her and trying to, you know, find herself and find herself worthy of a happy and healthy relationship and finding her own strength when she's been beaten down for so long. Mm-hmm. Riften needs to learn to chill the fuck out. That is canon. And this story is interesting. I really like the art. The characters piss me off. Mostly because it is a story that I feel like is fueled by lack of communication. I'm not even going to call it miscommunication. It's just, as the reader, you see all of their internal dialogue, and it's never to each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're talking like multiple seasons of it. It's prolonged that way. It does propel the drama of the series, but content-wise, it just doesn't feel like that's enough to like build a solid content. Maxie also just really struggles with a lot of self-worth. She has a stutter. She, you know, she really just has a hard time finding herself after being told who she was and that she wasn't good enough for so long. And the story, it's super confusing to me because Riften does show her that she's like the number one priority always. And we're talking that this like self-doubt perpetuates throughout the entire story.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't stand her ground until the beginning of season 3, which is the final season. And so it's not to say that that's not realistic with trauma. Like I do think that somebody who's experienced that could feel beaten down, and it could take them a really long time being exposed to the love and care that they deserve to fully understand and believe that that's something they're worthy of. But it was just very angsty for me, and that's not usually what I'm going for.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it's not a terrible story. It's not my favorite story. I know that it's popular. And if you're listening to this and it is your favorite story, just know I'm wrong sometimes. Or that doesn't have to change your opinion at all. It is beautiful. And I did start purchasing the novels because I do like the writing of the creator, Suji Kim, who also wrote There's a Mouse in This House. Mm-hmm. And that's also a completed series they just did, which is set as a drama, and it makes a lot more sense for that to come in there. So I'm curious if there are any differences with the novel. I haven't read it. The webcomic itself, absolutely beautiful, just not my fave.
Yeah.
Personally.
And this is one very early on that you said was not your favorite. And so I decided not to read it. So I've never read this one.
Yeah. And I'll catch you up. I haven't finished it yet. It is completed now. And I kind of stopped at the beginning of season 3 because I had a little hissy fit where I was like, oh, now you stand your ground. So yeah, I mean, it definitely could be up someone's alley, but dramas aren't always up mine. And this one didn't quite hit for me. Yeah. So the last story that was nominated for this category is called Vampire Family. This is a webtoon series, and it's ongoing with 48 episodes. It's a comedy, supernatural story, and I love this. It's by the same creator as Love Advice from The Great Duke of Hell. And another shout out to my husband, because he'd be sad if I didn't. He's the one who recommended it to me. But after that series, I was like, oh, I'm going to read everything this creator makes, because their sense of humor is just great. The comedic timing, chef's kiss. It's perfect. The story revolves around the Dragomir family. They are a family of vampire. And they are all pretty content with their vampire life. It's kind of monotonous. You know, they've lived for a long time. And they all sit around the table and they drink their blood and they just kind of chill out. And Natalia, the middle child, fellow middle child, is sick of that shit. She's like, no, I have read these books and seen these movies, and vampires can go among the humans and it's fine.
Is it Twilight? Is that what she's reading?
She read Twilight, yeah. I mean, I'm going to say no, she didn't read Twilight because it was technically just a black book with two hands holding a red apple. But we know. Eagle-eyed fans, we can see it. So Natalia's like, I've been reading these books and they say we can live among the humans. And her parents initially are not down for this. And then they're like, how about this? You can go, but as soon as it doesn't work out, you stop pushing for this anymore because it's not happening. And so she goes to school entirely convinced that she is doing a great job. And she's strolling down the halls and people are like, what's that sudden chill? And they're like panicked. They're terrified of her. She's smiling and they're like, oh my God, she's horrifying. She's going to kill us. She doesn't see it that way. She sees it as like, oh, I'm the new kid. They never really know how to act around the new kid. They must be so shy, whatever. And the teacher even has her come up to do an introduction. They're like, Natalia, introduce yourself to the class. And she goes, I can't wait to see you all like throughout this year or whatever. And it just looks very ominous and all the kids are like shitting their pants.
Oh my gosh.
However, she does get seated next to one of her fellow students in her class homeroom named Evangelo. And he is also not your typical student because he is part of a vampire hunter family. And in order to be really like recognized by this vampire hunter clan, you have to kill a vampire. So he goes, she is obviously a vampire, terrible at hiding it, and I'm going to kill her. So he keeps making glances over at her, and she's making glances at him and goes, I know what this is. And he goes, hey, meet me behind the school at lunchtime. And she goes, okay. So they meet behind the school, and he goes to talk, and she's like, shh, shh, shh. I know what you're going to say. And I know that humans fall in love with vampires super easy. And my answer is yes, we can date. And he's like, oh, she's insane. She's delusional. But again, she's only learning from the best literature ever.
Yeah.
Twilight. So she goes, oh my gosh, I didn't imagine that I would be so successful on my first day that I'm now leaving school with a boyfriend. But here we are.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. She's like, this is the best day ever. And Evangelo is like trying to get it through her head that like, I don't like you. But then he's kind of leaning into it a little bit. Like, I don't have to lean into anything romantically. But if I am nice enough, she won't kill me. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have more opportunities to stab her with a wooden stake. So they're walking down the hall together. He goes to the bathroom, has a wooden stake, and he's trying to give himself a pep talk. Mm-hmm. And Natalia's waiting outside the bathroom, just like, oh man, it's taking him a long time. What's going on? And he walks out and he goes, Natalia. And she's like, oh my gosh, is he going to hug me? I'm not ready yet. And she like flips him over her in a panic, throws him down the stairs, and he dies. And so she takes him home and she's like, hey parents, help revive him because you know how to do that. And so they do. But the parents know who he is. And now she's head over heels and she's like, my parents, you're not allowed to kill my boyfriend.
Is he a vampire now then? Or how do they revive him?
No. With like a magic that they have.
Oh, okay.
It all just devolves into madness from there. That's just like the first 2 episodes. This series is so funny. To the point that I really thought it would be nominated for Best Humor Webcomic because that's the following category.
Yeah.
It is so good. Like, there are so many elements of it that are just perfect. But yeah, I was kind of like, man, this is such a niche, very humorous comic. It just felt like it should have been in the humor category specifically for me.
Yeah.
So, I will say multiple incredible nominations. I have a personal favorite in this list, but I'm curious if yours is the same as mine.
I don't know. Should we count down 1, 2, 3 and then say?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Should we do 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Nove.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't tell you to pause and read any other story.
no. And it is one we have probably mentioned the most.
Yeah.
And since the beginning.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's perfect. It is a perfect story. You need to read it. It's got everything you need. And I will say, following very close behind for me is Vampire Family. I just feel like if you're wanting a story that has more content to it and a more unique premise, I feel like that has to go to Nove.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, we are going to our final category for the Ringo Awards, which is the Best Humor Webcomic category. This one also had several different nominations. I think this one did have a lot more that we hadn't read before.
Yeah.
So we'll just kind of go through them, let you know our thoughts. The first nominee is Dealing with Demons. This is a Manta comic series, so it is available with the subscription. It is 67 episodes and it's ongoing, and it is a supernatural comedy romance. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of different elements there. The story follows Doc Young. She is a woman who was pretty down on her luck in general, and then in order to try to improve her fortune, she ends up making a deal with the Demon of Fortune, who cheats her out of all of her fortune.
Yeah.
So she starts having the worst luck ever, and she becomes extremely disillusioned. She is really just ready to end it all. And then she comes across Hwam Young, who is the demon of disillusionment, and he's meant to collect disillusionment. And he's like, I mean, there's so much of it. It's just kind of boring. Like, I don't really get a rush from doing this anymore. Mm-hmm. And so when he runs into Doc Young, he goes, oh, this actually makes it interesting. She produces this in like plethoras. So I could just make a deal with her, and then I can take all the disillusionment that she's gained from the Demon of Fortune. And so it's really about trying to play the system. It's about a demon who's sick of being a demon, a human who's sick of existing, and the both of them trying to make the best of a bad situation. It is a good series up to where I've read, which is about 15 episodes in. I will say, though, out of all of the different genres that this story touches, comedy isn't the one that stands out the most to me.
Yeah.
I'd put it more in the hot guy genre category.
Not the guys with good personalities.
Hwam Young, hot. There is a lot of action to this one as well. I think it's a very well-balanced series, and it is a really great concept, and it's well done from what I've read. When I see this one, I'm not immediately going, this is the funniest webcomic ever.
Did it list it as a...
Yeah, it's in the humor
comedy?
Webcomic
No,
nomination.
but I mean on Manta.
It has like a comedy tag. I'd almost put it in like the best webcomic category, but it is just a really unique take on like a contract with a demon. And we've read our fair share.
Yeah.
So we're kind of experts. But yeah, it's not top comedy for me, but it is a good series.
Yeah.
So I do recommend. The next one that's on the list for nominations is Harley Quinn in Paradise. I didn't read this one. It is a DC Go comic. It's ongoing with 36 episodes, and it is a romance comedy. And the series follows Harley Quinn after she is, it says dumped by the Joker, but then it says mutually. So I think they kind of dumped each other.
Yeah.
But Harley Quinn at this point is now determined to move on no matter what it takes. Just based off of the cover alone, I can tell what they mean by this, which is that Harley Quinn goes on some sort of a Love Island bachelorette dating show. And I can only imagine that it really just kind of devolves into madness. It's a hilarious concept to me of, oh, this supervillain is so sad from her breakup, so she needs to go on a dating show. And whether or not the people that she's dating on these shows are also villains, or if they're nice guys and she's a villain, who's to say? But It is a free comic on DC Go, and it sounds like a funny concept to me.
Yeah. I just am looking this up right now, and I do really like the covers.
Yeah, the art is beautiful.
Yeah.
So I am genuinely kind of interested in reading this one. I will say, if there's something that would potentially get me to go on to another webcomic platform, it would probably be a comedy.
Yeah.
Because I love a good comedy.
Oh my gosh, whoever this guy with the pink hair is at the end, I think that's who she ends up with, but he looks like kind of himbo-y.
I love a good himbo. So, could be right up my alley.
Yeah. So, the next one we have is High Class Homos. This is one that we have both read. It is end of season, and it's on Webtoon. It is a comedy double life friendship story. And we pretty recently talked about this one. It's got 210 episodes, but they are a bit shorter, so it's pretty quick to catch up on, kind of like Nove.
Yeah.
And this one is about Princess Safia and Prince August, and they are best friends from neighboring kingdoms. Mm-hmm. And Safia is a lesbian and August is gay, and their parents are putting pressure on them to get married, Safia's specifically. So she goes to August. She's like, I am tired of being put in front of suitors. This is horrible. They're making me dress up, and I hate these dresses, and I don't want to get married to any of these guys. So let's get married. Mm-hmm. And August is like, interesting.
Interesting thought you've come up with.
Yeah. And Safia's like, picture it. Sicily. No. Picture it. And she's saying, you can fall in love with your knight, who's Percy, and who has been his love for as long as he's known Percy. Mm-hmm. And Safia's like, and I'm going to find a maid. I don't know who she is yet, but I'm going to find one.
She's kind of a playgirl.
She is a little bit. And so then we meet some of our other characters, Odette and Marla, who are both maids. And we have Percy and Lucas, who are knights. And so the 6 of them really have like just a close friendship, and they all go about the town. Season 1 is really about them getting married.
Yeah.
So the like drama part to this is that Safia gets sent away. So she is like, they're trying to figure out how to get her back so that they can get married and like get it done. Mm-hmm. Season 2 was kind of about them being on separate honeymoons and trying to get equal rights for LGBTQ plus communities, because August's father walked in and saw August kissing Percy and was like, you're cheating on your wife already. This is not good. So they accidentally put him under a spell.
I really like the fact that the dad freaks out, not necessarily because he's with a man, but because he's like, you're going to break your wife's heart.
Yeah, I do love that. And I also love the part too where before they're married, he's like almost interviewing Safia and is saying, I was in an arranged marriage and it did not end well. Mm-hmm. And I don't want the same fate for you or my son. So, like, I need to know if you really love him. And Safia is like, truly, I love him. He is my best friend and I want to marry him.
Yeah.
And it is so sweet. I mean, this one is like cotton candy, bubblegum, pink, cute. I love it.
It's incredible.
It's so good. And I will also plug Gwen and Art Are Not in Love, which is a novel that has a very, very similar premise. So I read the novel first and then immediately was like, I need to read High Class Homos because I need more of this story, this like similar concept in my life.
And it didn't disappoint.
It didn't. Both of them, very good.
Yeah. I'm so glad we read this one.
Me too.
It was so good. The next nomination is Nothing But Nightwing, and I know that it doesn't come across in reading the title, so I just need everyone to know that "but" is spelled with 2 T's in this specific instance. This is another DC Go comic, so it is on the website for free. It's 35 episodes and ongoing. It is a comedy. And this follows Dick Grayson, aka Robin, aka Nightwing. My husband knows a lot more of the lore, which is like, oh, there's actually multiple Robins. I don't know. This is the one that's canonically the hottest, is his direct quote. And to be fair, he goes, yeah, he's obscenely hot. He lands Starfire, who I also know from Teen Titans. It's just funny because you do see Robin and Starfire together there too. And apparently he gets away with cheating on her because he's that hot, supposedly.
Yeah.
So, sounds like a douche, but who's to say? I'm not in the superhero area. This story follows Dick Grayson. He is determined to take down villains that are at the center of the fashion industry, which, funny concept in general. I'm immediately picturing, like, people selling fur coats.
Yeah.
And just morally corrupt people. But apparently, in order to take them down, he has to take to the catwalk. So it sounds like he's trying to infiltrate from the inside and become a model.
That is great.
Yeah, it sounds great. I haven't seen it. The cover is funny. It's just kind of him showing off his butt.
I mean, fitting for the title.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I will say, in watching Teen Titans, Robin was not my favorite.
No. See, and I only watched Teen Titans, like, a couple of times. Like, when it was on.
Oh, no, I could literally sing you the entire theme song right now. I'm not going to because that would be embarrassing for all of us.
I do love the peach in the background of the cover.
Yeah, it's really good. This is one that is listed as 12 plus, but then it also has a little flame on it. So I do feel like there might be like an adult version of this comic that maybe has more content. But to be honest, I didn't look into it that in depth. So sorry for letting you all down. But it sounds funny as a concept, and I could see why it's in the category.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is also one we did not read. This one is called Rosebuds, and it is on Comics Kingdom. So this one is, it didn't have any category listing, so I'm just going to call it a comedy because it's in Best Humor Webcomics.
It also is short form.
Yes, it's short form, so it's a daily release. There are 504 episodes, but it's like a strip comic that you would find in a newspaper.
Yeah.
So there's like 4 or 5 panels for one episode per the day. So I don't think it would take as long as you would think a 500 episode series would take you to catch up on. But this one is about 3 sisters, Rosa, Maria, and Maricela Gonzalez. And it's just about, like, their daily lives. So it's very slice of life with the comedy, but just, like, how sisters bond and how they have their rivalries. And so I just imagine that it's very much, like, you know...
Funny, chaotic.
Funny and chaotic. And I don't have siblings, actually, so I really can't imagine it.
As someone who has a sister, I can tell you that I don't have a stereotypical relationship with my sister. Because you always grow up hearing, like, oh, like, siblings hate each other, but they love each other. And I'm like, I love my sister.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe can't relate. I did read a couple of them, but I'll be honest, I already forgot what the comic strips had on it. To me, it seems like there's an age difference between the sisters and that the youngest sister kind of always says out-of-pocket stuff, which is very funny having a toddler myself because it just feels like that same energy. But it looked cute.
Yeah, and you can read a handful for free. I don't know if it's like you can read a certain amount per day for free or if it's like a one-time thing. But I was clicking around and eventually it said, hey, do you want to purchase? And I wasn't paying attention to how many times I clicked. So I don't know how many you get for free.
Yeah.
But a handful.
Way to go, us. We've done so much research.
We're so good at this.
It's hard when you're already reading on so many different platforms to bring more platforms in.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of convincing for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, it needs to be good if I'm bringing more in here. All right.
Especially because we know we're going to end up with the gems or the coins or the...
We know no restraint. And last but very much not least for this humor webcomic category is Wannabe Friends. This is a webtoon series. It's actually soon to be completed. So the entire series is written up And you can, at this point, fast pass to the final episode 80. And it's expected to be completed in the coming weeks. So highly recommend, if you've been reading this series, you can get to the ending a little bit quicker. Or I do always like to flag as well that with webtoon series, when they get to be newly completed, a lot of times they do become coin-only series.
Is this a canvas or original?
It's an originals.
Okay.
So it can eventually become like a coin to unlock for the series. Mm-hmm. So you might want to read this one before that. It is a romance comedy, and I do love a good rom-com.
Yeah.
I didn't read this one, but I'm going to tell you, just from reading the preview of the first episode, I'm convinced that I need to. The series follows Sienna, and she has been known to have a hard time making friends. She's kind of awkward. She doesn't really kind of get the social norms, it seems. And now it's a new school year. She's actually going to a new school. So she's extremely excited. She goes, this is my new beginning.
Yeah.
Like, this is my chance to really make it. And so she goes, I'm not going to make the old mistakes that I was making. And the bio specifically says, no, she's going to make new mistakes. One of which of the mistakes is that she ends up running into, physically, the Ice King, quote unquote, of their class, whose name is Ian. Mm-hmm. He's just like this heartthrob who ignores everybody, keeps to himself, but she's a loudmouth, which I can relate to. Mm-hmm. But it is also insinuated that maybe her unorthodox ways might kind of weasel their way into his heart.
Thaw his frozen heart.
Yeah. I love a good rom-com.
Yeah. It looks cute.
Yeah. It looks pretty adorable.
Yeah.
And I'm all about the adorable rom-coms.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think that this is one that I'm missing out on. I can't speak to whether or not it's like the best and most funny comic ever, but just from the beginning, it was really cute.
Yeah.
So I say give it a go. Why not? Read along with me.
So out of this list, there's only one possible winner for me because I've only read one of these.
And that's fair. And I will say, I think this one's a bit more obvious because I've only read 2, and one of them I didn't find to be a standout comedy.
Yeah. So High Class Homos will be our pick.
And also, even if we did read the other ones, it honestly might have been High Class Homos anyway, because it is laugh out loud.
It is just so cute. I love it so much.
Yeah.
I mean, we've walked through a lot of good comics today.
Yeah, there are a lot of different ones. There are new ones that are on my radar as well now that genuinely I might read some of the DC Go ones, especially in the comedy category, just to see what I'm missing. They're short enough. You know, I can get caught up.
Well, and a platform that has an option for free reading, too, is also nice.
I like that you mentioned that it's an option for free reading because you're like, I know you. I think it's really nice to have those options and to be able to appreciate the different stories. So I think it's good to kind of delve into them and see what's available. I am so happy that what I would say are 2 standout stories that we've read recently are nominated. The fact that Nove's nominated, I've never seen something more deserved ever. And I really think that they're all really good options if you want to delve into it. Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us for these Ringo Award nominations. If you want to see who ends up winning, the winners are going to be announced at the Baltimore Comic Con on October 18th, so you can definitely feel free to follow along there. And we are looking forward to talking to you all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.